Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I'm so grateful to Bhagavan for giving us this opportunity to meet once again in this space and share the love of our beloved Lord. So before starting today's topic, I'd just like to set a context to which why this topic inspired me to be taken up for this satsang. So just a few days back, I ran into one of my acquaintances and only to discover that she is also somebody very devoted to Bhagwan. And when both of us discovered this fact about each other, we were extremely elated and excited, and the joy I could sense was very similar to that we get when we unite with our family after long. So I think it's that absolute delight of siblinghood of humanity and the parenthood of God. And it's so beautiful to meet and interact with people like that, especially people of my age, and to see that the youth is being used in a most worthwhile manner. So this got me thinking, and I thought, why not discuss about this topic, that why should a human be initiated into this path of godhood or spirituality at a young age? Usually the narrative around spirituality revolves around age. So we usually tend to associate the act of Namasankirtan, satsang or pilgrimages as pastimes of the elderly. Does it look cool for a youngster to attend a Bhagavata Saptahiknyam? Personally speaking, I think it would be the coolest thing to do. But the popular notion is that spirituality or adhyatmikata is something we have to turn to when we are done with all our worldly obligations and duties. So education and then work and then get tied down by family, and then trying to or striving to satisfy the expectations that are born out of relations. So desires in this human life are endless, and without us even realizing, time and this life slips from our hands. So at the end, even if we ever get this feeling to start off with our sadhana or chant or start reading the scriptures, but at that time, who knows if our bodies will cooperate? Who knows if our physical and mental faculties will pay heed to our instructions? So Adi Shankaracharya, the great Jagat Guru, in his phenomenal composition, the Shiva Aparadha Kshamapanam Stotram, beautifully narrates the different phases in which a human life gets tied up to, and throughout the stotra, the devotee repents and seeks forgiveness for having neglected, forgotten, or even disregarded the path to godhood. So there's this beautiful verse in the stotra that says, Vardhakye chendriyanam vigatagatimatischadhidaivaaditapaihi papairogairviyogai stvanavasitavapuhu praudhihinam chadinam mithya mohabhilasher bhramati mama mano dhurjate dhyana shunyam kshantavyo me paradha kshantavyo मे पराध क्षन्तव्यो मे पराध शिव 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 भो शिव 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 भो शिव 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 भो श्री महादेव शंभो। O Mahadeva, in my old age I have lost the power of my senses, the 5 Panchendriyas. My body, even though a little bit of life is left in it, it is weak and it is affected by a lot of illnesses and bereavements and deprivations. But even in that sort of a condition, my mind is still running after desires and delusions. So Mahadeva, Shambho, Shiva, forgive me for these transgressions. So even at 90 or even at the threshold of death at any age, if the name of the Lord has to dance in our tongues in that final moment, it's definitely not easy as we think. It would be possible only with steadfast sadhana, practice and devotion of a lifetime, which is why we should utilize all of our youthful energy in cultivating the thoughts of Godhood. Now, when we turn into our scriptures, which are indeed our lighthouses that show us the direction when we have a doubt or a dilemma in mind, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 6, the little boy but the greatest devotee of Mahavishnu, Shri Prahlad Maharaj, says, and he has left us with a beautiful, rational and a logical justification to why we should start early. Shri Prahlad Uvacha Kaumara Acharet Praknyo Dharman Bhagavatan Iha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapyadhruvamarthadam. So Prahlad Maharaj says, in Kaumara, in the tender age of childhood, one who has praknya in him, one who is intelligent, should deliver his dharma. What is that dharma? To offer devotional service to the Supreme Godhood. Now, devotional service can be of any type, any path that suits our samskara. In the Navavidha Bhaktis, as we all know, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sankyam, Atmanivedanam. Any one or any of the Navavidha Bhakti margas we can adopt and do this devotional service to God. And immediately after this, he gives the justification to why we should do it. He says, Manusha Janma, that is the human birth, is something that is durlabham, that is very, very rarely obtained. So, a Manusha Janma, even with the realization that this Manusha Janma is adhruvam or impermanent or temporary, the only way that we can extract meaning out of this temporary life is to perform the devotional services. So this is also reiteration of what Shankara Bhagavat Padar has said in Viveka Chudamani as well. Jantunam nara janma durlabham. So according to Bhagavad Gita, there are 84 lakh types of bodies that a soul can take on after death. See how insignificant our lives are, right? In the whole macrocosmic canvas of existence, we're not even a tiny speck. So our soul getting a new life is like wearing a new dress. What happens when we dirty the dress? We discard and get a new one. So that is exactly the process that our soul also does. So the probability that we get a human life, an able-bodied human life, a mentally sound human life in our next birth is very, very, very minuscule, very durlabham, very rare. So when we are blessed by God, when we are blessed by Bhagavan with all the faculties to chant His holy name, let's do that. Hari 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 Smarana Karo, Hari Charana Kamala Dhyana Karo, Hari 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 Smarana Karo, Murali Madhava Seva Karo, Murahara Giridhari Bhajan Karo, Hari 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 Smarana Karo. So let us remember His name, let us meditate at His lotus feet, let us do the seva for Bhagwan. And with this human life also comes a certain sense of urgency, that pining, that value for time, that determination. And the most beautiful example from whom we can learn this is of Andal. Andal was one of the 12 Alvars, a little girl, but the greatest devotee of Ranganatha Swami, who merged into him at the tender age of 15. She is believed to be the incarnation of Bhudevi, but even behind that incarnation, there is a meaning or a purpose. And that purpose is to make us understand the potency of, or the power of urgency and determination in spiritual sadhana. Unlike us, she was a soul who lived every moment and took every breath in the thought of Krishna or Bhagavan and by chanting His name. But yet, by being in that mortal coil, she was suffering from that constant viraha, or the separation, and she was constantly in that pining to get back to the source, that is the Paramatma. So it's said that when her father, who was also one of the Alvars, a great spiritual head, so when he took her to Ranganatha Swami's temple to get her wedded to the Lord, at the sight of the temple, she left everything and she ran into the sanctum sanctorum of Bhagavan, the little child, the little girl. And when she ran in with that sense of urgency, sense of pining for Bhagavan, Swami, I need you. There's nothing else that I need in this whole life but you. With that sense of pining, when she ran into the sanctum sanctorum, it's believed that her mortal coil just merged into the idol of Swami. Nobody saw where she was after that. And throughout her compositions, that is Thiruppavai and the Nachiyar Tirumuri, this is one theme that keeps getting repeated and reiterated. So in this Thiruppavai that all of you might be familiar with, set in Hamir Kalyani Ragam. Thoomani Madathu Sutrum Vilakeriya Dhoopam Kamatuyir Anai Mel Kanvalarum Thoomani Madathu Maman Magali Manikadavam Thiruppavai Mamin Avale Elupiro Unmagaldan Umayo Chevido Pasuram, Andal actually makes out a call to one of the gopis who is lost in deep slumber, and Andal along with her other friends go to this gopi's residence, which is illuminated with diyas and has got a beautiful fragrance coming. So that is Chutrum Vilakeriya Dhoopam Kamartuyal Anaimel Kanvalaru. So, and says that uncle, auntie, the father of and the mother of the gopi who's in sleep, please do call her up from sleep. Please wake her up. We're getting late. We need to immediately rush to the residence of Nanda Gopar to have a glance of our beloved Krishna. So in this sense of urgency, she makes an appeal to that soul who is in deep slumber. So the inner beautiful spiritual significance of this Pasuram is that this appeal is made to each of us who is lost and drowned in this sea of existence, in this luxury of existence, and says we do not have time in hand. A human life cannot be wasted. For each of the second, each of the moment that we have on this planet Earth as a human, let us strive to attain that level of bhakti wherein we pine and wherein we desire only the presence of God in our lives, the presence of Krishna. Let us end today's satsang with this one quote of Swami Vivekananda, which sums up this entire satsang that we had today. Uttishthata jagrata prapya varani bodhata. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached, and the ultimate goal being Bhagavan himself. Thank you so much for tuning in, and also very happy to share with you that we are trying to bring out a satsang on every Sunday and a musical upload. It could be a stotra or a sloka every Thursdays. So please do send in your suggestions, your insights, your feedback about this session that we're having, and I really look forward to making it an engaging and interactive collective space for the love of Bhagwan. So in that note, let's wind up today's satsang. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.